You are listening to the Starter Girls podcast with Jennifer Loading, where extraordinary decisions produce extraordinary results. These are my friends, these are your friends, and they are living the extraordinary. This episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Photographer with Glad Models Agency. If you are here in the Dallas or surrounding area and looking for some photography work, check out Walt Mills. You can learn more about him and his work at photosbywalt.com. All right, we're going to get things started today. It is a great day to be brave. You might as well start now. You have the power to change your circumstances any day you decide. Let today be that day. Rise up, be amazing, be you, do you. All right, my friends, I am super excited to welcome my guest to the show today, Natalie Higby. She is the co-founder of Durable Athlete. I want to say like an umbrella service ranging from in-person training to online coaching program, mentor calls, and they have a new app that they created, so I'm excited to talk about all this. Natalie grew up as an athlete and played college basketball. While there, she picked up a degree in education and studied personal development, nutrition, training, and martial arts. A lot of things going on there, Natalie. Love it. The knowledge Natalie gained allowed her to get back into the classroom where she picked up some coaching opportunities, and something that she said in all these experiences that she gathered, she began to develop a much clearer vision of what it was that she wanted to provide the world. And so here we are today, Natalie. Welcome to the Starter Girls Show. Super excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to chat with you today.
This is so fun. So I went to your website and I was looking at all of your notes on there, and I'm like, okay, so now I've got to compile all this and just kind of do this like nice little summary of who Natalie Higby is. And so it was fun reading all of your notes and accomplishments and all of that stuff. So congratulations to you. Good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I've done a lot of things, been a lot of places, and it's hard to summarize it sometimes, but you did an excellent job.
So thank you. I've done a few of these. I'm getting pretty good at these bio things now. Like I've been working on them for a while. It's so funny because I keep joking about this. Like I'll tell people, you know, like the bio is so hard for a lot of people to do because they have to talk about themselves, and that's so hard. So a lot of times I'll tell people, just give me like your highlights, give me some bullet points, and I'll like compile something. So I'm getting it figured out. Look at that. I tell you, I told you I turned it off. I didn't turn it off. All right. So I want to dive into this really quick and talk about a little bit about, you know, what you're doing with this program. You've got this new app that's coming out. I want to talk about what all this is that you've got going on and who are you serving. So kind of maybe break this down for us and give us a little info so my audience will know what this is.
Of course. So I currently am a personal trainer. So I still have clients that I'm seeing on a daily basis. Typically one-on-one. I do have some small groups. But yeah, basically just a lot of durability, mobility work. So people coming to myself and my partner who runs the business with me, his name is Christian. They come to us because they have aches and pains or because they want to work out, but also feel really good and not feel so beat up. And so we kind of specialize in a lot of like body weight and recovery techniques. And so again, on a daily basis, we're both servicing general population clients. Christian, my partner, works a lot with youth athletes all the way up to like professional basketball players, baseball players, and actual like athletes that get paid, you know, to do that for a living, where I'm a little more general population. I also do nutrition coaching. So I can work with people from anywhere. It's online. And just kind of help people with their nutrition and lifestyle goals so that can support their training goals. But we did create an app, and the app was created because we have so many people reaching out to us for these mobility and recovery and body weight techniques. We didn't really have a way to share those with everyone. And we were getting messages, you know, on a daily basis, like, hey, what do I do if my shoulder hurts? What do I do for my back? And we were like, it would be really nice to just have an app where people could go. And it's like, here's some neck mobility, shoulder mobility, you know, like a mobility workout of the day and other body weight training workouts that people could implement into their training routine or into their lifestyle that would help them just feel better and perform better in their life. And so we spent about a year and a half, almost 2 years now, just filming content. And then since March and since everything kind of shut down, it almost helped us like push the app even faster to be able to develop that. So we worked with a team who has helped us develop the app. We come up with the programs that are in them and how we kind of like separate the different things such as foam rolling, breathing techniques, nutrition and lifestyle tips. But again, our bread and butter is mobility, which if people aren't familiar with mobility, it's similar to maybe stretching or yoga, but slightly different. But again, it's just like a low intensity body weight exercise that people can do in the morning. They could do pre or post workout, or they could do just if they're feeling, tight and stiff as they sit at their desk all day.
This is so good. And a couple things I was going to say, because my background, I don't know if I shared this with you on or off, but I was an aerobics instructor for many years. And back in the day, I don't know how old you are, but I'm going to say, if you remember when Bally Total Fitness was around and they were kind of like the big premier gym, that's who I trained with like originally. And so my background is a lot in this like nutrition and all of that. And then of course, when I went through and had to, deal with my nerve condition, I got versed in nutrition because I really started having to study like the effects that sugar was having on the body. So I've got a lot of background in that too. And so this is so good because oddly enough, when this whole COVID thing started, I've been at the same gym for 12 years. Like I was at one gym for many years. And then when they shut down, I moved to LA Fitness, 12 years, the same spot. And I'm like one of those people that do not waste gym memberships. Okay. Well, then when COVID hit, they closed it down. And so then I went back and then they closed it down. And I'm like, I'm paying all this money and I didn't want to have to pay all the money and then have to have my like experience be compromised. So I let my gym membership go. And so I bought this app that I've been doing. And so this is where you come in because I think this is so good because I bought this app that has all these little like 15 to 30 minute workouts that are basically like some of them are arm workouts, some of them are core, some of them are yoga. And so I kind of vary my workout up, which I was looking at yours today. I was like going through some of it today to check it out to see, I want to look and see what's all in there. But these are so good right now for where we're at in this time. And that's, I guess, where I'm going with this is that what you're doing is so relevant right now with what's going on in this world because people are looking for a way to exercise but be able to stay in their home and not have to go into the gym, So I could see where this is like really, really good. And then you've got an excellent background to match with that, which I think is, gives it just kind of that and then some, good stuff.
Well, thank you. Yeah. We had planned on the app prior to this year. Like I said, we've been filming for a while to develop it. And then with everything that happened this year, it's definitely been a good time for us to release it because there are so many people looking for things that they can do at home. A lot of people don't have access to their gym and they don't have gym equipment. And we do have some workouts in there that require minimal equipment. So we have some kettlebell stuff, band and med ball, but majority of what we do is body weight training. And so yeah, it's actually been really great to be able to provide that to people in a time like now when they're not able to go to a gym or they don't have access to equipment or equipment is really expensive because people are buying it for their homes. And they're stressed. So we focus a lot on de-stressing the body. And again, I go back to like recovery techniques. And so we have some breathing exercises in there. Someone told me it was like Headspace, but with fitness, which Headspace is like a meditation app, because we do focus a lot on like down regulating the system. And when we're feeling stressed out, how can we kind of like shift our state with our breath? And so that's included in there as well, which I think is much needed for a year like this year.
Absolutely. Well, and I studied meditation, so I understand, and I trained to do yoga. So I get all of this piece that you're doing because there's so much of that. It's so funny because I laugh, like when I do my workouts in the morning, sometimes when I started this thing, my arms were so freaking sore, my whole body, because I had been, running and walking the dogs. And then all of a sudden I was doing these muscles again. And I'm like, I haven't been to the gym doing my weights. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So then I'm like, I'm going to squeeze this yoga in there and do this yoga. And I did not realize how hard the yoga was. I'm like, oh my goodness. But it's such a different relaxing piece to exercising that, you come out of that and you're just like, oh, it's like so calming. So I get all that whole breathing and all of that stuff and the headspace thing. It is definitely important. So, okay. Yeah. So I want to backtrack a little bit because obviously when I did your bio in the beginning, I summed all that up. So I want to talk a little bit about sort of how, I guess maybe, like when you were younger, I noticed on your bio, like you said, you knew you were kind of always drawn to that helping other people and really mentoring and leading and all of that. Did you know that you were going to, in your mind, that you wanted to be an entrepreneur someday, or just this kind of just fell into the right place?
I actually had no idea about wanting to be an entrepreneur, but I think I've always been driven to be one, and I just didn't realize it. But I didn't really have anybody in my family who was. I'm trying to think, so it's not that there was like that example that was set for me.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't something that I was super familiar with. But as I started working, right, like post college, there's just always this drive to do more and to continue to grow in my career. And it always kind of felt like if I was working for someone else, that there was that ceiling. And I'm like, well, there's more things I want to do. I like to push myself. I don't consider myself super creative, but I've realized that I guess I am, with all of my ideas of what I want to do business wise and how I can help people. So yeah, being an entrepreneur is something that I've honestly just recently really owned and accepted and stepped into. And now it's a reality. Like, this is what I do full time. I don't work for anybody else now. My partner and I run Durable Athlete. And so it's been definitely a learning process, really worth it. Yeah, it takes a lot of patience and drive and passion, I would say, to be an entrepreneur, because you really have to care about what you're doing to keep it going, because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of hats to be worn, which I'm sure you know about as well, right? So we just try to do the best we can on a daily basis and keep getting better day after day.
That's so good. You said a lot of really good words. You said one of my favorite words, which is passion, because I joke about that all the time. I'm like, who was I talking? I was talking to somebody the other day, and I don't know where I said this, but I'm like, you could sell grass if you're passionate about it. You could sell anything if you're passionate about it, right? Because everything you do, that's what drives it. I mean, and you said so many things right there, because if you think about it, not everything is an uphill climb when you're an entrepreneur. I mean, people a lot of times on the other side don't understand, because when you do things on your own, there's this roller coaster ride that you go. You have things that are going smoothly, and then you have these, I call them roadblocks, or these potholes in the road that get in the way. I used to talk about this with my team all the time, is that you just look at these potholes and you know they're going to be there, and you just go around them because you have to, right? And so I think passion is the driving force behind what we do that keeps us moving forward and keeps us glued to what it is. So you said a lot of really good things there. So I have a kind of a fun question for you, because having come, being an athlete, and I think I shared with you, my kids are athletes. My daughter got an academic and athletic scholarship to do cross country. She was a soccer player for a while, did that, and then moved into the other. So I get it, the whole, myself being a former marathon runner, I get like the mindset behind all that. And so what I want to ask you, I want to jump into mindset in a minute, but I want to ask you another fun question. So if somebody, let's say somebody is just going to be like starting out, like brand new, because I know what I would say, but I want to know what you would say. They're going to be starting out brand new, and this could be in business, but I want to take it kind of into the physical sense, like maybe exercising or something. What kind of tips would you offer somebody that's just kind of starting out at the beginning stages?
So on a daily basis, I deal with this for people who are genuinely starting out. Obviously people come at all different levels, but I do have people who are just getting into it. And my biggest thing is just consistency beats intensity. So I would rather people start small and start to build into their lifestyle these daily habits that are going to be sustainable, rather than making this crazy change and going into it like really intense, right? And then all of a sudden dropping off. So for me, it's just, what are like a couple things we can do for the next 2 weeks that are going to improve the quality of your life? Let's do those things consistently. And then once we've done those for a couple weeks, cool, let's keep doing those and let's add on. And we haven't mentioned it yet, but Durable Athlete has 4 pillars. We have breath, sleep, nutrition, and movement. And so if someone is coming to me and they're just starting out, I would probably pick either one thing from each of those pillars, or maybe just a couple things such as, proper hydration, making sure that we're getting enough sleep, checking in with the stress in their life, and then just, are they moving enough? And so for some people, that's, hey, I just want you to go for 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. Let's start there. Or I want you to incorporate this mobility into your routine. Let's start there. And then once they can do that consistently, I would build onto that. And so for me, it's getting people to change their mindset around short-term quick results and long-term sustainable habits that are ultimately going to improve the quality of their life.
So good. I love it. This is
I don't know what you would say, but that's
actually, Natalie, that's exactly what I would say. I'm doing a fitness I'm actually doing a mindset and wellness thing right now with my people. I don't get into specific exercise with people, but my approach is exactly the same way with them. I tell them, whatever you're doing, I don't care whether it is taking something out of your diet because you're altering your food, or if it's, starting your exercise program or upping it. It's all about sustainability and consistency, because you know as well as I do, coming from that background. I mean, I used to talk about this in my classes all the time. People every January would pile in there. You know how the gyms are. January, everybody shows up, right? They're there for 3-4 hours a day. Sometimes they do doubles. They come back. And I remember doing these classes and having my members, because I was teaching these morning classes, which were a lot of stay-at-home moms at the time. And you know, they have their spots within in the room.
Yeah.
They would get so furious because these new people would come up to the front. And now we don't want to, not encourage them to be there, but it was always this cyclical pattern that we knew. They would come in, they'd be there for about 4 weeks, and then they were gone. And so I would just tell my members all the time, just give them time. They're going to be out of here, because they go in full throttle thinking, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to be able to, keep flowing. And you can't. It's sustainability. I mean, it's a mindset, and you have to build that consistency.
It's all mindset. So it's about understanding that if you have a setback, or if you, kind of quote like fail or mess up, that's just a part of the process. And that doesn't mean that you completely give up. It just means you start again the next day, right? And you do the best you can. And so, yeah, it has to come from mindset first, of understanding that we're doing this for the rest of our lives. And so let's do as best as we can on a daily basis, but not every day is going to be perfect, and not every week or month is going to be perfect. But if we keep at it, ultimately things will continue to get better if we continue to kind of push that line a little bit.
It's so good. Thank you for sharing that. It's good. No, I think we're exactly on the same page. I love it. I think it's always fun to, like when you're talking to somebody in that field, just to kind of see, and you have to have mindset to do what you do. There's no way you played sports without having that, and having that grit and tenacity, and understanding that not every day is a great day. So, and I think that's what sets people apart a lot of times when they have success, is that just that ability to know that you're going to not have a perfect day every day in what you do, but it's about consistently improving overall, and that's built upon consistency, right? Sustainability. It's my favorite, one of my favorite words. So I love it. All right. So, Natalie, what is, I guess, in all of this that you're getting to do, and I kind of probably have an idea what where you might go with this, but I'd love to hear, what do you love about what you get to do? What's the best part of all of this for you?
I love this sounds really cheesy, but I love making the world a better place. And ultimately, I think when people love themselves and then share that love with others, the world is a better place, right? And my job is to help people love their body and love their life, and to physically and mentally be well. And so by helping them with these habits that make them, again, less stress and just mentally and physically stronger, more motivated, and then inspiring to others, I feel like it's that ripple effect. And so just my favorite part is seeing people happy and feeling stronger and feeling more confident, and just sharing with me that their lives have improved and their relationships have improved. And ultimately, I feel like then that's a win for me. And so it's just sharing like happiness with people and health. I think we live in a society where people are getting sicker and sicker, and there's a problem with, I would say, like lack of movement and lack of a proper diet. And, I just want to do my best to help share the things that we can do to improve upon that, so that people can live longer and healthier lives, and they can have their families for a longer time. I think about it, for me at least, like I want my parents to be as healthy as possible, because I want them to eventually meet my kids and be around my children, for as long as possible. And so if we're not taking care of ourselves now, and we're not taking care of ourselves for the long run, then that's not always a possibility. So yeah, I would just say it's seeing people thrive and seeing the quality of life improve for them.
Yeah, that's good. And that's a lot of I agree with you 100% on all this, because I think this whole idea of altruism, when you get into thinking about all this, there's this whole idea, and this is a lot of what I coach my individuals, especially women, because a lot of times women are so busy taking care of everybody around them, but they spend no time working on themselves. And, I'll have this conversation with them over and over. It's not even just, because the exercise, you've touched upon so many things that I feel like are all this piece in this puzzle. It's not just about your physical health, but it's really everything. It's how much sleep you get. It's the circle of, the influence, whom you're hanging around with every day. There's a lot of pieces. And so when I'm talking to these women, I'm always stressing to them that the most important person in the room is you. You have to take care of you, because you cannot give to other people when you don't have something to give. and you can't be good for your children. You can't be a good wife. You can't be a good friend, a good whatever, a good business partner, whatever, if you're not priority number one in your life. So I think you said so many really good things there, and all of it resonates with me because it's a lot of what I believe and a lot of what I talk about with people. And my brain right now as we're talking, like, I'm a creator and an idea thinker, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, when I get off the phone with this deal with Natalie, I need to call her back because my brain is now thinking about your app, and I'm going, okay, how can I utilize her app with some of my clients now? The wheels are like turning in my head. So this is what happens. See, it's what happens. I love it.
I love that. I love to hear that.
It's so good. Okay, so I want to know, because you just got through creating this and we've talked about so many great things. So, and even as an athlete, this is going to be a good one for you. This is my mindset question. So when you are going after something, like it's all like guns a-blazing, we're going to get this done. Like, what does that mindset look like for you? What's the headspace?
I have to be patient and positive. The best example I have right now is, even this year, if I look at this year, I was working full time at another gym, technically lost my job with the shutdown. My partner, Christian, and I had started Durable Athlete, but I wasn't necessarily working full-time Durable Athlete. I was part-time Durable Athlete and still full-time at another place. And so for me, it was, okay, now I've technically lost my job. And to me, that was actually exciting. It was like, cool, I now get to do this Durable Athlete thing full-time. And so I try to stay really positive with that and choose my attitude. I try not to get down about, what happened in the past necessarily, but it's like, how can I move forward and make the most of this? Well, now I have the time to do the thing that I want to do, and I can create my own job, right? So trying to stay really positive is one thing. And then even more recently, I have transitioned from coaching people one-on-one, which I still do, but I've given away some of my clients to some other coaches that we've hired. And I'm trying to really build my nutrition coaching platform. And I've had a handful of clients here and there, but I'm really trying to do that full time so that I have the flexibility to work from anywhere, which is one of my dreams. And so it's actually really scary right now because I gave up, money and clients that I loved, for just, hey, now I need to start this whole other business. Although I have people that come to me, they're not used to coming Christian, so I need to pick up new clients. And so again, my mindset is just trusting the process, trying to stay really positive, working hard day in and day out. I don't necessarily always have like a game plan, although I am very organized. For me, it's just, I feel like I wake up, I love what I do. So I pretty much work 7 days a week. I'm pretty much working all the time, but I also take time, like we said, for myself. I make sure that I'm working out. I make sure that I'm doing things I enjoy, but ultimately, I just work hard. And I feel like that's never let me down in the past. I feel like if I've continued to work at something and showed up with a really good attitude every day, then more often than not, good things happen. It's only when we actually give up that I feel like things fail. So if I just keep moving forward, I feel like it'll come, because that's always what has happened in my life. And so, yeah, I just try to wake up with a positive attitude, and whether it's a good day or a bad day, just know that like I'm going to keep working the day after.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah, and I think, having the positive attitude is huge. I mean, it really is. That's the mental shift, that you can, if you want to keep things flowing. I think also what's really nice here is you said, at the beginning about loving what you do. And I think that makes a difference too, because, something I heard a long time ago, and I don't even know who said it, but they always say, if you love what you do, never work a day in your life. And so I think, as an entrepreneur, a lot of times, especially if we're creative and we just really get passionate about wanting to help people, that it just sort of kind of becomes who we are as individuals. And so we don't really separate it sort of as an existential thing. It's just part of who we are, our DNA. And so I find that happens with me a lot of times too. And I sometimes have to just say, okay, Jennifer, shut it down today. You take a break now, because I get so excited about what I'm doing and what I'm creating that my brain is just like going all the time, so I have to shut it down. So
I definitely deal with that. And having Christian and I both doing the same thing and both being passionate people, it consumes us day in and day out. And so there's also that flip side where sometimes I'm like, hey, let's just hang out as a couple and not talk about business. But we could talk about business all day long, because to us, it's just what we love, and it's fun for us, and it's our way of being creative. And so I've had to kind of learn along the way of when to put it down though, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, also need to just focus on other things. Although I do love what I do, and it is just like who I am. Like, I feel like what I do on a daily basis is just truly what I love talking about, right? And what I love helping people with, and what I do for myself. Ultimately, the way I coach is I just share what I've used in my life that has helped me, and I try to share that with others. And so, yeah, I just like your point of sometimes having to put it down for a little bit, right?
But you can pick it back up. You can get it back up. It's fine. If you're loving it, I mean, really, it's at this point, I mean, it's not, if you had kids and you had other things you had to be doing, I mean, if it's causing a problem in another area, then yeah, you got to find that like harmony spot, right? There's always a give and take pull, but man, right now you guys are young and you can do it, do your thing. That's what I say. So it's all good. All right. So the last serious question I'm going to ask, and then I'll move to a few fun ones here for you. So if you were going to define, this is in Natalie's words, success, what does that look like for you?
Define success. To me, success is happiness. I've never been one to necessarily focus on money, but I think all of us would agree that, when your business is doing well, that also is better for you mentally, right? Like, you're not stressing
Right.
about money necessarily, and you have the ability to kind of like have shelter and food and all the above. But yeah, to me, success is happiness for myself, and it's happiness for those people around me. Keep it pretty simple.
That's
I just
good.
want to help spread positivity. And I say all this because I say keep a positive mindset and happiness and all this stuff. Those are things that I sometimes struggle with myself, right? So when I say that I'm going into every day being positive, that doesn't mean that necessarily comes easy to me, right? But I just understand how that impacts my life when I can have that attitude. So I try my best day in and day out to do that. So yeah, for me, success is just helping others and being happy while I do it.
I love that you said the part about, though, too, you're recognizing, because I think it's about being mindful. You're recognizing that and I'm the same way too. I mean, I'm a high energy person. I'm actually pretty calm today. I think I'm tired today, but I'm a high energy person. And it's so funny because, I wake up kind of like that, but then there are days sometimes I don't. And I really have to work on that mental shift to get myself back in. So I get it. And I love that you're vulnerable and authentic about that, because I don't think that we have to paint this perfect picture that everything is peachy keen every single day, right? That's what makes you real as a human. But it's the process of working on yourself every day to be better than you were the day before. And I think that's what counts here. You know what I'm saying? So I think what you're doing is awesome. I really love it. I want to ask you some fun questions. This is the part where you don't have to be serious. I don't want you to think too hard on these because they're not hard. I promise you. Okay. So are you a morning or night person?
Morning, for sure. Okay.
I love it.
I know this morning, which is our pool that's like 68 degrees. I always talk about this, but yeah, it can be like 30 degrees out and I'll wake up early and go swim. I just love the morning time. I go to bed at like 8:30 or 9. So
hey,
not
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm a morning person too. I don't ever get to bed that early, but I'm up like you in the morning, ready to roll. Like, I'm slaying the day. By noon, I'm like taking a break. It's all good. I love it. All right. Are you a cat or dog person?
Dog person, 100%. I like cats too, but I'm obsessed with my dog. I'm looking at him right now on the ground.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a mini Australian Shepherd.
Oh, fun.
He's a blue merle. His name is Mamba, named after Kobe Bryant.
Chris is back there going, let's see him.
I have him like with me all the time. Come here.
You asked for it. Oh, look at there. Oh, that's a beautiful dog. Yes.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah, he's got blue eyes, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. 2 blue eyes. Yes, I am a big dog lover. What do you have?
I will have cats and dogs, but I have a Catahoula that has she's kind of like a blonde merle, but she's got I'm saying she. My other dog's a she. She has he has a half blue eye. It's like black and blue. It's the weirdest looking eye, like one like that. But he's the craziest dog. I mean, he's big. And then I've got a little a rescue that I call her the COVID puppy, but she's a brindle pit bull. So, yeah, she's pretty crazy. It's like Thor. My Catahoula's name is Thor, and he does not like other dogs at all. So when we brought this new puppy home, he was like, "No way!" But she has been like the best thing for him because she's just crazy. It's like Ren and Stimpy or something, like when we take him for walks. But she's so good for him because he's had to learn to like tolerate her and be patient. So, but your
I
dog
love
is
that.
beautiful.
Thank you. One day we'll get him a little friend, maybe a cat. I had a cat growing up, but he was very independent, so he spent most of the time outdoors. So.
Yeah, cats are kind of like that. We've got some of those too. They're easy to take care of because you don't have to do much, but yeah, they're not like having a dog. They're different. Okay, Natalie, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food. I would
Chris,
just say good old taco, especially since I live in Austin. There are so many places where you can get breakfast tacos or any kind of tacos. Today, Christian went and picked up these tacos from this place. It's like a barbecue spot, so it had brisket and egg in them.
yum.
Sometimes I just make tacos and put all sorts of stuff in them, but I would just say, I don't know. Is that a food group?
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. I like tacos too. I had tacos the other day. I like them. I can eat all kinds of tacos too. They're good. I'm with you on that. I haven't had anybody say that though in a while. Usually it's like we'll get like the Mexican sushi, and every once in a while somebody will say steak, or like Italian food or
Those
something.
are all
But
good too. And I do love sushi, but we don't eat it as often as I would like to, I guess.
yeah.
The first thing that came to my mind was like the thing I eat most often, and that would just be tacos. And I'm just going to make that its own food group.
Hey, do what you want, right? It's all good. It's all good. Okay, if you were stuck on a deserted island, you have food, so you don't have to worry about food. You'll have your tacos. They're there. What would be the one thing you'd have to have beside the tacos? This is a hard one. Chris has back here been laughing. He's like, what is she gonna say on this one? This is we have to think about this one.
I know. Well, maybe it's because you just asked me about my dog, but I really am obsessed with my dog as much as I love my boyfriend. Maybe I'd say him too, but I just feel like dogs are so, I don't know, loving. You could be anywhere. You could be stranded on an island and I'd be happy as long as I had my companion,
Yeah.
I could care less about like material things, I guess. If I already had my food, no big deal, but maybe just like, yeah, the people I love most, if that's an option.
Hey, it can be whatever you want. And the dog is good. You know what I love about dogs? They're always excited to see you. They don't hold grudges either, and they don't talk back. Like they're like forgiving every day. I love it. Every time I go home, my dogs are so excited to see me. It's like a new day. So it's all good. All right, last fun question I'm going to ask you. If you could be any superhero or character for a day, what would you pick?
Ooh. Character or superhero? This one?
You can make up one if you need to.
Who like flies the most? Who flies around? I just want to fly. Like Batman?
You'd be like Magic Marvel. Isn't that the girl one? Captain Magic Marvel. You could be Captain Marvel. I make up my own characters on this show, Natalie.
That's okay. I'm not the best with superhero stuff, to be honest, but I do. Well, I loved whenever I had the chance to go skydiving, and I just feel like I've always wanted to be in one of those flying suits. So I guess a superhero that could fly anywhere.
I could see that. I could see that. That's so awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
Very cool. You said the skydiving part, and I'm like, okay, never mind on that part. Like, that's not, I have a lot of things on my bucket list, but that is just not one thing that I have on my list. We went to the Grand Canyon over the summer, and my kids were all like, let's go down in it. Let's go down in the bottom. And I got, they have the top where you just walk around, like the rim. And it's like ways before I could not even do it without my heart like thumping. Like I was like I feel like I'm being sucked in the big hole, like in there. Me and heights are just like, no. So I'm proud of you for doing that. That's an awesome endeavor there. All right, Natalie. Yeah, I bet. But you probably were like, look what I did. This is awesome, right? So cool.
Totally. And then I wanted to go again immediately. And then like the longer I thought about it, I was like, well, I survived once, so maybe I'll just count my blessings and leave it at that. So I'm not sure if I would go again as much as I want to and wanted to. I'm still like slightly scared of it too, but it was a really great experience.
Yeah, there used to be this roller coaster. Like I used to ride this stuff. There used to be this roller coaster at the park in Houston when it used to be Astroworld, and it was like called Grease Lightning. And it was basically just this like loop you did, and it would take off so fast. And my friend and I, we would go there and we would get in line and ride that thing, and then get back in line and ride that thing. And I don't even know how I did that, because there's no way I'm even going to step foot on a roller coaster today. I mean, just no way. I'm like, how did we ever even do that? So kudos to you. I think that's awesome. So if our audience wanted to learn a little bit more about Durable Athlete, a little bit more about you, where do you want us to send them?
two main places are going to be durableathlete.com. Our website definitely has a lot of information on there and ways to contact us. And then I mainly use Instagram. And so I recently kind of switched it over. So it's just my name, Natalie.Higby is my handle there. And Christian, my partner, is Christian Placencia. If they wanted to look into that, we do have an account for Durable Athlete as well on Instagram, but it's not as active, I guess, as our personal ones. But yeah, those are the two main places. You can find us on Facebook too, but I would just say our website and Instagram.
Okay, perfect. We'll make sure when we get this out that we get you tagged and get all that. And I do follow all your stuff on Instagram, so I love watching your videos and stuff. So lots of fun, great stuff going on in there. So I do want to say to our audience, if you love our podcast, please be sure you give us a rating both on iTunes and then, of course, Facebook. And check out, we're on Amazon, iHeart, and hit the subscribe button on YouTube. And I want to leave you guys with a couple final thoughts here. So when you stop planning and preparing, you stop winning. And that is by Zig Ziglar. I like Zig Ziglar. And the last thing I want to say to you guys is in order to have success, you must start. And that start begins with the decision. And with that, you guys take care, be safe, and be kind to one another. We'll see you next time.